Hello, everyone. I believe everyone is doing great and awesome. I welcome you back once again to my YouTube channel, The Dialogues. And today we are going to navigate through the importance of indicator. We are going to learn about what are indicators. We are going to see how a indicator template is been created and how it will be linked to the control objective, all of that. So, with that, let me talk about what are indicators first. Well, the indicators are the internal, or let's say the pre-tests between audits to enforce the control and understand if the entity is compliant. Well, they indicate if the entity is compliant or not. That's why, as they indicate, that's why it's called as indicators. Okay, that's about indicator. Now, it is all about saving time and improving quality. So, you want to know before the audit if your organization is compliant, if not, where the failures are, so that you can fix them in time. That's why instead of using spreadsheets or emails, we should be using ServiceNow indicators. Here I am in the compliance workspace to show you how an indicator looks like and how we can create an indicator template. From my previous video in chapter 5, you have learned about the control lifecycle and you have seen how a control gets generated from the control objective, and in a particular control objective how an indicator is placed. To show that, let me go to the list view and I'll show you one of the control objective here. And if I click on one of those control objectives, in there you will see something called as more. Right under more, you have indicator templates, and this control objective already has one indicator template attached. Now you can either create a new one or add another one. So what we will do is we'll try to understand the link first. Okay, now all it starts about evaluation. Before the audit, you need to check if there is a little bit of chance to fix what's need to be, and an easy way to iterate. So it all starts from either a policy or it could be a external authority as well. And all of these two things gets added via or in the control objective. If you see, there is a citation. Citations are nothing but the external authority, and the citation is part of an authority document. This is in this example, the authority document is CIS controls, and I do not have any policies. If you want, you can also add one policy here, and these two different things, which is the external regulations or your internal policies, can be added to this control objective. Here the example is for this particular control objective. Here we have added one citation, that means it's an external authority which we have added, and this actually in turn connects to the entity type. You have added and two different entity types here, and for each entity type you have different entities being listed, and each entity will be having one control attached to it, and this control will have the indicator from indicator template. All of these different information you can also have a quick look and view from 360-degree view. If you click on 360-degree view, you will able to see this is the actual control objective, and we have 99 controls which got generated. We have two entity types, we have one citation and one indicator template. Now, as this video demands, what we will be doing today is learn about creating an indicator template. So for that, let me navigate here in the indicator template. Let me click on new. Okay, now first things first, what would be the name of the indicator? So this is going to be a Sandeep external indicator. Now you can mention the description of this indicator. So well, for now what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste the same thing. Now sec actually the third thing, not the second thing. So the category you need to select. What is this category basically? The category for which you are actually creating the indicator template for. It could be a risk indicator template or it could be a control indicator template. For this demo or video, we are going to use control indicator template and make sure it is active. Otherwise, you will not be able to see this indicator template while choosing in a control objective. Okay, now most important section here is method. The first thing is the type of the indicator. It's basically out of three different types: manual, basic, and script. Manual indicators are used for data that cannot be retrieved from ServiceNow instance because it comes from an external system such as customer data from a third-party sales system, or it could be any external outside ServiceNow instance. Basic is the one which are also are automated indicators based on an indicator source. The indicator source specifies a table and frequency at which the scores from this table are saved. So if I click on basic, you will see there are two different things, two different fields gets populated. One is a target type and result if the value meets or exceeds the table or exceeds the target value. That means we need to configure the result here. The choices could be passed or failed. For example, assume you enter 100. Okay, now if the target is 100, if the indicator result output is more than 100, then the indicator status will pass or fail based on the value configured in this field. So let's say if I select passed or failed, you will be able to navigate. So let's say percentage, and you can set the target, or let me give it a right value as per my example. I'll give 100 as target. So based on this target value, it will be decided whether it is failing or passing. So let me say it as passed. That means if the count is 100, that means it will be passed. This is basically for basic. So for this example, I will go ahead and select as manual. Let me just reload this page once again so that these two fields should not get populated. Now, as I was talking about target type also, which is none, percentage, and count, this actually tells you if it is none, you should be using this option if you do not want to set up any target or threshold for this indicator. Okay, that means this type, target type. If you want to select percentage, use this option to determine the indicator result is by percentage value. Finally, the count. You can use this option to determine the indicator result by a count value or total number. Okay. And instructions are basically if you want to provide some additional instructions for the template, you can also give that additionally here. If something you couldn't capture in the description name or stuff, you can actually have this instructions given here. All right, now here we have to move ahead with the schedule. Now, collection frequency for indicator results. Indicated task and results are generated automatically based on the indicator schedule. Okay, so that means if it is daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually, based on this, it will be collected. First run date is the first collection time for indicator results. This field is automatically set based on when an indicator or an indicator template runs for the very first time. And this value in this field can't be modified. That's why you can see this is read only. Third field here is due date duration in days. That means due date duration in days between the creation and due date of the indicated task and generation of its results. So the due date duration added to the creation date reflects as the due date of the indicated task. This field appears only when manual is selected from the type field. Okay, so if you select a different type of indicator, if it is basic or script, it will not be populated. This is very important to note. Okay, now uh, let me show you one example of an indicator template. Then you will see there is a additional tab which gets populated where you can tag the different control objectives and risk statements to this indicator template. Okay, for that, let me navigate to the indicator template from here under control monitoring in the compliance workspace. And let me open up this manual power backup. And over here, you'll see control objectives and or risk statements. So basically you can add multiple number of control objectives or risk statements. If it's a risk indicator, you can add risk statements here. If it is control objective or a control indicator, you can add the different control objectives where you want to add this particular indicator template. For now, there is only one control objective which has been added, and you will see there are 22 indicators which got created. All right, now uh, this is basically nothing but this is an entity, and this entity belongs to an entity type. I assume this is for different companies in different countries, or it could be different countries here, right? If you see, there are different countries which has been listed, and that they all need to comply. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this one indicator here, and in this indicator you will see this is a control indicator. This is the template, which is the indicator template which we have used, and this is the entity which is New York, and this would be for this particular control, and the method is manual, the first option, and there's no mandatory values available, and it has the next run date is 2025, which has already passed. So what I will do is right now I will be clicking on execute so that it will create an indicator task for me. Let me reload the page once to show up the indicator task. All right. Now, if you see, there is one open task, and this will have a different approach. That means this indicator task will be assigned to a particular person. So let's say Abraham, and as a control administrator, you can actually assign to someone here, or a GRC manager also can assign it. And once this has been assigned to someone, they will have to take up this task. Otherwise, it can be done or completed by the compliance manager or compliance admin, or it could be any GRC user also can take up this task. Okay, so To complete the task, I will close the task here and mention the result if it is passed or failed, and the value, let's say I will say it as 120. There's no instruction description, I'm not mentioning any of those. I'll just save it. That means this task has been completed and it has created a result. If you see here indicated result, it is reflecting as passed. So with this, if I click on 360-degree view for this, you will see this is the indicated task which is passed, and now you have the indicator results. For this, you have a indicator task. So basically, from top down, if you look at, so we have this indicator task. This task actually we have got it from where? We have got this indicator task based on this indicator which has run, and the result of this indicator task will be found in this indicator result. So if I click on this indicator result, you will see this record populating here. If you click on this indicator, you'll find the indicator details here. And then finally, if you click on the indicator task, it will take you back to the workspace view where you can find the indicator task, and you will have all this information listed here. And one more important thing is, if you see, it is clearly mentioned this is the upstream, because this is the indicator. Based on this, you have got this indicator task created, and it this indicator task includes this indicator result. And what is that result? Click on view all, you'll see the indicated result. I hope you like this video. If you do so, please do like, subscribe, and comment. And watch out for the upcoming videos. Bye bye.